Well, welcome to today's episode. Today's guest is Sharrin Fuller. Sharrin launched her first business in 2006 with no formal accounting background, only grit, curiosity, and a desire for freedom. What began as a solo bookkeeping venture grew into a successful firm as she partnered with CPAs, worked with tax attorneys, and became deeply knowledgeable about the back-end operations of SaaS and VC back-end startups. She discovered that systems were not optional, they were essential. She built a team, learned through mistakes, and corrected course until the firm attracted 3 acquisition offers. She sold it in 2020 for 7 figures. She then bought another firm, applied the same method, transformed it in 6 months, and sold it again for 7 figures. Today, Sharrin runs 3 companies while working only 3 days a week because she built systems that operate without her. Through Glass Wallet Ventures, she now teaches firm owners how to move out of the weeds, step into leadership, and run their business like a true CEO. We at Strativa AI help businesses use AI to streamline workflows, delight customers, and grow revenue faster without adding more staff. So if you're interested in a free business growth consultation, just drop the word growth in the comments below. Now, Sharrin, please share some more about Glass Wallet and what you got going on these days.
Man, I always have a lot going on. I get bored easy. Glass Wallet started after I sold my first firm. I stayed on with the acquisition and then I exited because I realized that I'm just not a person to stay on a company that tells me what to do. My friend Sean Duncan made a comment one time. He said, he told everybody, he goes, I'm unemployable. And I'm like, I am unemployable. So I decided I'm going to start something else. And working for so long with VC backed startups in the software as a service industry, there was a lot of M&A, there was a lot of acquisitions, a lot of exits, and I helped those companies get through it to the point of the signature, right? And I never sat through them afterwards. And of course, SaaS is a lot different than accounting services. It's a whole different world. But
Totally.
what I was unprepared for was what happened after the ink dried. And I thought, wow, this is something that all these things I thought I knew, I'd been through due diligence a billion times. Even my own firm got through due diligence like crazy, and the lawyers loved me, right? Because everything is perfect. But what mattered was after that. So when I exited the firm that acquired us, that's when I thought I need to really help other people that being that VC is huge in the accounting industry right now. A lot of people are exiting their firms and selling their firms. And I'm like, I want to help them prepare to get the best bang for their buck and to also know what's going to happen after the fact and how to maybe avoid some of the pitfalls that I went through. So that's what Glass Wallet Ventures is now. There's a few things underneath it, but one of them is my community. And in my community, I work with accountants, accounting firm owners, really on how to scale with their exit strategy in mind, regardless of whether or not you're exiting. But really, everything we do, like if you're going to go on a road trip, you know where you're going at for the day. You know what that you have you're mapped out, and the same thing needs to be done with the business. And also, honestly, growing that with the least amount of people as possible and the most technology and AI, which we're lucky to have nowadays, which is going to get you again, make it to where you get to be in your business less and still continue to grow and be successful. So
Yeah.
that's what I teach now.
Yeah, you were mentioning the other day that you're a pretty nimble company at Glass Wallet right now, right? There's just a few of you?
Well, it was my accounting firm. We had 12 and then we went down to 2.
Okay.
And without losing a single client, in fact, we've grown clients since then. And by bringing in technology and honestly getting rid of a lot of the I don't like saying this because it makes me sound insensitive, but sometimes you add people because you're like, I have an issue to fix and I'm just going to bring somebody in to fix it. But that's not how it works in the real world. We know that, right? So if you can actually sit down and take the time to see what their tasks are and do some research, 9 times out of 10 this day and age, there is some sort of software that'll do it for $50 a month faster. You train it once and it's not gonna, fail. So
Mhm.
it's really about aligning your team with human relationship roles and bringing in technology and AI wherever possible. So yeah, I scaled down to, like, nothingness, and even now my team will come to me or they did, I'm sorry. I stayed on the firm as an advisor, so they still kinda come to me, and they'll say, "Hey, Sharon, we need to solve for X," and instead of saying, "We need to hire X," they say, "We need to solve," and what we do is we look through what's out there, what solves for it. Is there a Zap? Is there, some command we can put in the current software we have? Can we put in a request to something we're already using and have them get it on roadmap and do a workaround until then? Yeah, so it's really just all about no more people, honestly, no more people. Sorry for everybody that ever wanted a job ever again in the future, but, yeah, no more people, and then on Glass Wallet, yeah, same thing, it's just a few of us, me, my EA. I have a director of brand marketing and a community manager, but they're everything they do is very people related. We have a lot of software as well.
And because you have got a lot of systems in place to kind of manage the flow of things then. Great.
Everything is a flow and a process. I was just building more yesterday. I think that's what I do now is I just sit and I'm like,
So,
"Hold on, why am I doing this?"
yeah.
System,
What are
process,
some of the favorite
automation.
tools that you like to use?
I am a huge Zapier fan
Uh-huh.
because with Zapier, I can use almost anything I want and make them connect. My favorite tool is Slack. My number one favorite tool is Slack. It's our communication hub. Everything I do routes into Slack. So that way I can just have Slack and my notifications open and I will know if I got an email, if somebody called, if somebody's texting, if a new task was assigned to me, if somebody needs me. Everything comes into that one place. And that's what I've done for all my businesses too, where I tell them, look, if you're, if you've got nothing else open, at least have Slack open and you'll be able to click on the link and go to where you need to go.
Stay on the
Because
stream.
because you may need to have like 10 pieces of software to run your company, but that doesn't mean that you have to have them all open at the same time, which then makes it really inefficient. So Slack is my favorite and
Yeah.
it thankfully integrates or has, an open API on the back end where I can write a Zap from Zapier to make software speak.
And what about in the accounting world? I know that there's in other industries there's a difficulty around getting those APIs for certain pieces of software.
Yeah,
Are there some
yeah.
big challenges in accounting, or would you say that it's pretty easy to do? I mean, because it's such a, the finance, right? So it's like really, it needs to be secure.
Those
And
bank
so,
accounts.
yeah, those dollar signs.
Yeah. So we do have anything that's related to the bank accounts or any bank stuff tends to have a little bit more, hurdles. But with the new pass keys that come out, everything needs a pass key instead. It's making it easier. For the most part, a lot of software in the accounting industry, when it's brand new, it doesn't immediately connect. It always connects to Intuit. Always, always, always. But they open it up pretty quickly. I think that's the one thing they learn is as soon as because I have a couple one of my or my firm uses Client Hub as its projects management tool, and the first thing I said is, "Open your API to Slack now." Like, I can't it has to be open, and same with Anchor, I use them. I'm like, "I need this to read to Slack,"
How'd they
and they
respond?
did. Got
Right
it done
away?
because yeah,
Oh,
well,
wow.
yeah, they were if you get in and know the people when the product's beta and just starting, they tend to listen to
Oh,
you
okay. Well,
because
there you
then when they
go.
get bigger,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
like, "Sit down."
Yeah.
So yeah, but no, they're pretty good about it, and Intuit is, a major player for small to medium-sized businesses, but Intuit speaks to everything,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
everything. But the bank
Yeah.
accounts are definitely getting harder. They're making it harder for accountants' logins to be able to access and such. There have been some, a few inconveniences, but I feel like that's just how it goes is scammers get better,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
so I said I'd rather have to log in every time than have my client's bank account get hacked on my watch.
100%. Absolutely. Yeah, and so who is your ideal client, size-wise?
So for me, I like to work with small or startups to maybe medium. So I like to work with owners of a business, and they're really trying to get to that $1 million hurdle.
Okay.
Honestly, I like those small ones. I mean,
Yeah.
I can work with bigger ones, but I find that what I teach and where I'm getting them to, it tends to be trying to get to that one, or they're really pushing that five, right? Just for all businesses, they're like, "I really just need to net 1,000,000," and then they're like, "Okay, now I need to net 5," but those ones that are transitioning from, "Hey, it's me," to, "Hey, I'm growing a team," to shoot, now I have this team and I could take on more work, but I'm making less money. So I really focus on those smaller ones so they could get to their next level.
Well, that's a smart spot because you can make a lot of impact right there. And just being there, right, with the
Yeah.
stakeholder or maybe a couple, that's like a really big deal. So you're able to affect change well, quickly, efficiently and successfully, because that's the whole
Mhm.
challenge these days is that people are implementing AI, but are they implementing it well?
Yeah,
And so when you
yeah.
hear about the big study, right, from MIT, like, oh, whatever, 90, 95% of AI is failing, it's like, yes, and that was actually done about enterprise level installations,
Mhm.
right? And but
Mhm.
like when you're down into the SMBs like you are, like shit's getting done, it's
Yeah.
working.
Well,
Yeah.
we're the one feeding it, in my opinion. We're the one that's really, really using it because when
Yes.
you're not in a very large company, you're not in a box, right? You're not like, this is where you live, this is what you're allowed to do, and this is what the company is allowing you to do. You've got free for all. And so you can experiment and test things. And a lot of people they need to remember that AI isn't new, it's been out for a while, we're just actually using it, it's just got released to us and we're using it publicly, it's been being used on the back ends, right, of large corporations for a long time, but we only get what we put into it. You can't just hop into something and go, "This is exactly what I need," because it isn't. It needs to learn you, which is scary, but the more you put into it, the more you learn it, the more you use it, the more you build it into your systems, the more effective it's gonna be. I was just having this conversation about my ChatGPT, and I'm a little worried that you could have her on she's a her, her name's Gal. She could be on this right now and you wouldn't know the difference between me and her because I have really worked hard over the past couple years to train her on how I think and how I function and I question her and I check her work. But we're at a point now to where she's pretty accurate and on point to where I actually trust 99% of the information that comes from her, which is nice. And now I'm even more efficient, right? So I can drop something. I'm like, here's an email. I need to respond to this. And I don't even have to give her prompts because she's got the train. She knows how to respond. She'll just, here you go. And I read it. I'm like, perfect. Thanks. So instead of me taking 45 minutes to perfect this perfect email, she got it done for me in a minute
Yeah.
and it's out. And then I just schedule the email for like an hour later so I don't seem too, so it's not so obvious.
Too bot like.
Yeah, I schedule my emails, let me tell you.
Yeah.
But then I'm scheduling the email. I can go in the morning, I work for an hour, and then I could go get a pedicure, and everybody thinks I'm still working because things are going out. But that's the beauty of
Yeah.
technology for the most
Oh,
part.
yeah, absolutely. It's like when I send out just an automated newsletter, once a month, people are like, "Oh, I loved what you sent me yesterday." And the fact that you stay in touch so much. And it's like, that's all been automated for a long
Yeah,
time. They think
for
that
like
I
the
sat
quarter.
down and wrote it last night. It's like, I love you guys, but no.
So it's so crazy to me because this stuff is so public, right? So I mean, it's not like you go to read any sort of news article on anything nowadays, and I'll read it. I'll be like, "This was written by AI," but it's really crazy to me how many people are still in the dark about how much is AI generated and
Yeah.
handled, and how much they're still doing manually. I'm at my in-laws. I hope she doesn't watch this, and I was actually I giggle because she bought an actual cookbook and she's reading through it and marking the pages, and I'm like, "Oh, I have an app for that." Like, I have an app for that that I could just be like, "Hey, this week I wanna have this," and it'll meal plan for me, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you get some people that don't know about the change, are resistant to change, or, just don't care. They know about it, but they don't care, but I'm opposite. I'm like, I wanna be on the side of the robots when they overthrow the world. I wanna be the right hand of the robot overlord, be like,
Right.
"Look,
Yeah.
I
You were saying that
respect
you want
you."
to take the pill, you want to eat the
Yeah,
steak, and you
that's
don't want to
right.
know a thing about it.
That's right. We had the call. I don't wanna be on the other side of the matrix. I'm happy being where I'm at. Ignorance is bliss sometimes. I say that, but I feel like the anarchist in me would come out and go, "No, no." But honestly, if it wasn't for the technology we had, I'd probably still be building out my Excel spreadsheets, and that's what I'd be doing, right? Like, living in my manual Excel spreadsheets. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm able to
Yeah, it's still
accomplish
fine to use
so
them, and
much
then you can
more.
link them together in certain
Yeah.
cases, right? And have that be
I
the driver.
love me a spreadsheet, but, it's not manual anymore. It's not nothing's manual. It's very automated, and I I love it. It just makes life easier and allows you to do more things and you don't have to focus on just one. For those
Yeah.
of us that have the attention span of a 2-year-old.
So, what about a recent success story from a customer's perspective? How have you helped an actual client recently?
A client? Oh man. So I have a client out there. Try to be careful because I know if they watch, they'll know my story. But I have a client who they went through a restructuring. But it really so they started utilizing me. I was more of sitting on the back end. I wasn't really the fractional CFO at the time. Now I am. And we were looking through their financials and I just told them, I said, "Hey, so I have this tool that I use, right?" And I was able to pull everything out and go, "Here you go. So this is what we suggest based on these analytics."
Yep.
And then I was also able to get them automated. There were so many roles they have in their company. They had like 50 people at this
Okay.
company. I said, "You're out of your mind. You don't need that. You need maybe 7." And so they're like, how would you fix it?" Okay, so this, and this person can go and it can be replaced with this. That's $100 a month, right? So the amount of money they were able to save, they were going to try to get a loan, but now they don't need to because the salaries cut down. So they're pretty
What was
happy about
that
that.
experience like? I mean, because they're really, a lot of people are like in denial of like AI is not taking away jobs, but it is in some case. I mean, I'm assisting with a car dealership getting some AI implemented, and it's literally going to affect some of their staff as well. So what was the experience like for that company?
Well, it's November and I've been telling them this since January. So when things started getting real crazy around August and they started getting nervous, I was like, "Are you going to listen to me now? Because you've spent, 2 million in salary since then, and I'm not seeing the ROI on your people." And I don't necessarily think AI is not coming for the good jobs; they're coming for the easy jobs.
Yeah, yeah,
So
exactly.
those of you that are like data entry or anything monotonous or redundant, those are being automated. So what people really need to
As
do
they
is
should be, because humans have so much
yeah.
more ability to create and do.
Yes. 2 things that you could do to avoid being taken over by a robot is 1, something that's a pure human relationship connection, or 2, learn how to run the robots. Um,
Yeah.
be the person on the back end that can oversee the software, connect the software, manage the software, because now they're gonna need 1 person on the back end to oversee 7 or 8 platforms, which is cheaper than having 7 or 8 people. So, like I told my team last year, like, customer facing you need to have a customer facing, customer relationship job, or you will not have a job at the end of the year because that's just where we're going. And I don't want to be that person, but I'm giving you a full year to come to me and say, "Let's find me a different role in the company and we'll create it." And the ones that didn't were just, I was like, "Okay, we don't need you anymore. And I'm sorry, but I gave you a lot of warning." So,
Yeah, 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 fair enough. I mean, that's reasonable. And yeah, it's still all about that human connection, you know? I mean,
yeah.
there's a tool that I have and use all the time, and it's an AI sales call analyzer,
Hmm.
and also an AI SDR, and like all these things built into this tech platform in going out and getting clients and then nurturing them all the way through to the calls. But at the end of the day, it comes down to the salesperson that's actually having the conversation. So like all of the busy
100%.
work with the marketing and the reach outs and all of that sort of stuff can just get handled. It's like the old school, the mailers are
Yep.
going out sort of
Yeah.
thing. You're not delivering them in person, right? But then you're having that relationship of whatever it is for your service, your product, or whatever.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then even those you have to be careful with. Like, I agree. That's because, I mean, that's honestly, I get those all day long and I could tell the difference between the ones that are
No,
because
yeah,
that's how I met you, right? Because I'm
yeah,
like, "Man, if this is AI, it's really good." And there was somebody else that I worked with that he used the same thing. It was kind of like it was a different type of thing, but I'm like, "Whatever you're doing, I don't need it, but it is amazing. You're doing a good job," because I actually listened, whereas some of them, they're like, "Where are you writing this stuff?" So, I
yeah.
think people, they
There's a
bring
skill
in
to it.
tech.
And
There
so
absolutely
many
is,
people
and
want the quick fix. They think it's there with this anything AI in general, and it's not.
mhm.
And it ends up hurting
No.
them, their
Yes.
reputation,
Yeah.
and like just their industry and like whatever, if you want to say AI in general, right? But it's like people's laziness. Like I always think, I had this conversation today with a friend of mine where it's like, this is the opportunity for people to either up their game, right? Up level or
Mhm.
like offload. They can do the cognitive upgrade, use it to like create those efficiencies and multiply, right? Go forth and conquer in
Mhm.
whatever it is, product, service, whatever. Or they offload, think like the college person who is writing his paper by AI, doesn't even check it, hands it in, it's
Yeah.
full of
Yeah.
mistakes,
Yeah.
or it's speaking to stuff that is like way over his head and it's clearly evident, and then he gets an F and he's pissed about
Yep.
it. It's like
Yep.
you just offloaded all that stuff. Like you kind of deserve it, dude, you know?
I agree, I agree. I get nuts because I've never heard the word delve, DELVE, as much as I have since ChatGPT came around, and I'm telling you, I almost never saw an M dash.
Oh,
And I can't and the ever revolving landscapes. So whenever I see those, I'm like, "Stop,
yeah. Did you see
stop."
you can they finally allow you to change your permissions to take that out permanently?
I threatened mine's life a while ago. I told them I'll unplug it, and I don't get them anymore, but I'm like, "I have never once in my life made an M dash. I don't even know how to" oh, there it is. I was like, "I don't
Yeah.
even know how to do it on my keyboard, and
Yeah,
nor would I use
yeah.
it.
No, I
Please."
think with the 5.1, they made it
Yeah,
so that you can go down into your preferences.
yeah,
And then, so I've done that, and you can
me
tell
too.
it to not
I'm like,
put
"Never
those
use the
in.
word delve." I'd
Yeah.
never say landscape unless I'm asking for a bid on my front yard landscaping, which I wouldn't be. So please don't use that. Yeah, you can't be lazy. And then even though I think for the most people, we all know AI is a thing, but we don't want to know, right? So we want to feel like I like when I'm like, is this a real person? And if it can trick me, then I'm all about it. If it can't and it's so fake, I'm like, done. I'm insulted that you would think that you can trick me with a robot. But when I am tricked by a robot, I'm actually really happy for it.
Yeah, I'm all in. Like, I'll push them, whatever, if it's like a chatbot or this sort of stuff, that you're able to like interact with it
Yeah.
to a certain level because it is way more efficient and it totally gets the problem solved sooner. And then if you hit that stopping point, then it should be able to revert to a human easily. Right? Like, and just
Yeah.
done.
Oh
And
my
so
god.
that's kind of like the crossover that I think that
That
people should be cognizant of.
that just reminded me. I want to see if I can find it. I actually had somebody here it is. So I had an AI message me the other day. It was like, "Hey, this is so and so with so and so." I opened a quick chat, and I was actually for once, it was like a cold text, right? And of course, it's
Okay.
AI. It's fine. In fact, even said you're reaching this through an AI system, and I was like, "Ooh, perhaps." And I said, "Here's my email. If you email me, you'll get an out of office response with my calendar link." But and then hop on there. I said, "This will be the last text I respond to," and this was the response I got. "Thank you for your time. If you want to chat later, you can always reach out. Have a great day." And I wrote, "Ha,
Huh.
terrible AI response. I just told you to contact me and this is response. So
Yeah.
now I'm going to politely decline a meeting." And that's
Yeah.
actually what I said. And then the guy actually after was like, "Oh my God, you're right. Thank you for pointing this out." I'm like, I if you're trying to get me as a client and I'm already seeing that I tell you yes and used a keyword and your AI shot me down and said, "Okay, thanks a lot." And now I'm no longer a lead. That's terrible, like, fix that, and, one another thing that where AI failed, which is real fun if you're not careful, I use a certain project management tool that I won't talk about. This isn't the one I said earlier. If I was just on a podcast right before this, so I apologize if I'm if I'm crossing over, but, I went to it and I was double or triple charged, and I wrote in and I said, "What is going on?" I said, This charged my card, and I don't know what this charge is about." Well, it immediately assumed I was saying that it was fraud, and it refunded my entire subscription and shut off my project management tool. I had 0 access.
Oh,
Me, my whole entire team, every one of us, and let me tell you what, I live and die by my project management tool.
yeah.
It
That was like
shut
your
us
lifeblood.
down.
Wow.
I start there I lost it, and I was a beta user of this, and I called them up. I'm like, "You sons of" I was
All right.
so mad. I'm like, "Fix your AI." And then it wouldn't let me recharge my card on file because the AI marked my card as fraud.
Right.
So they couldn't
What a
renew it.
headache.
Oh my god, I was so mad. So it took a day to get it back up, and then I had to reassign every task. It unassigned
God.
everything.
Oh, it was
It
like
was
starting over.
yeah, so I always tell people, "Be careful. Watch your keywords because something like that, like, I don't know, I pay them a lot of money every year, and that's a huge loss from it if I was to say, "Forget it, I have to redo this, I'm just gonna go somewhere else."
Yeah.
Everybody offers what they do now, which nobody did 3 years ago, but now they do. So, anyhow, just an example of AI fails.
Well, what do you see as some of the biggest mistakes that companies make when they're trying to modernize their systems or adopt AI?
They move too fast.
Move too
Um,
fast. Okay. How
they
so?
don't know what they're solving for, they're just trying to solve, and they need to really understand what they're solving for, how they're gonna do it, and do it in steps, because you're running your business a certain way, whether it's working or not. But when you bring something in, you have to bring it in like you would almost like an employee. You have to have a process, you have to know how you're bringing it in, what it's solving for, how it's gonna flow, and then you have to stay on top of it. Just because you bring it in and set it up, you can't forget it. Technology upgrades all the time. I've have which is where, I have Zapier, right? But so I have a Zap that'll be set up, but then the software will update, have an open API and have these things automate. Well, now I'm doubling because I have a Zap and then the software is doing it on its own. So whatever you invest in, you need to invest in it and stay on top of it like you would almost a team member. You have to have some sort of follow up and make sure it's working and, quarterly, like I said, like a human kind of.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll
Yeah. It's got to be
fail.
overlooked. Yeah.
And
Like
this day
overseen.
and yeah, in this day and age when you can hop on Facebook and have 6 or 7 different ads pushed at you for cheap for any service that you're already getting, there's always something in your face. Like right now, I see when there's this accounting one, it's like $197 a month, and we'll do all your books. I'm like, all right,
Mm,
yeah, go get that one. They'll do your books, but try to call them for a question and try,
yeah. That's the
you
whole
can't.
thing. Again, there's
Yeah,
so many AIs, but like what's being done well?
yeah,
And then even if it's
exactly.
an AI that's like doing things well, then you still have to be there so that the end thing is
Yes.
done well, that you
Yeah.
approve it,
Yeah.
that it looks good, that it's truly representative of you.
Yeah. I have
Yeah.
a good, like, 75-25 rule, like, I want 75% to be AI and automation and some sort of technology and 25% human, because I do think there is a line in the sand where someone's like, "Alright, nope, I need a person." When I call places, I
Yep.
still just go, "Operator, operator, operator,
Yeah. Right.
operator," because
Yeah.
it just I already did all the work, I looked online, you can't help me, I need a human, right? And
Right.
there's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
always but 75% of the time the AI, the tech is gonna pick up what needs to be done. My out of office right now, if you go to it, I've got my responder says, "Hey, most of you wanna know this, here's this link." Like, I have a Google form or a Google Doc, a FAQ, "Here's where you need to go," and hopefully my out of responder while I'm out of office will help
Get you there doing
75% of the
whatever.
people while I'm out
Yeah.
of office. Yeah, so that's that way when I come back, I'm not having to deal with a million things. I'm only having to deal with if I got 100 emails, I'm only have to deal with 25, right? And that's pretty much how it's been since I started really automating everything that I possibly can. I wish I
And
could
so
automate getting ready.
how do you balance the automation and maintaining a human touch in the customer interactions?
I use myself as the example because I think I'm like the I love technology, but then there's a line in like I said, there's that line in the sand, and I like to and I'm easily annoyed. I have 0 patience. Like I said, I have the attention span and the patience of a 2-year-old. So I always think, "Where would I get annoyed and hang up and start yelling? This is where I'm gonna put it in." So I
I see what
kinda
you're
use
saying. Yeah.
myself as that, but it's really just to the point where, like, okay, what if somebody has to press 0, don't send them to anything else, send them straight to someone, don't put them through more things.
Yeah.
Here's, like it's research, here's what people are asking about. Here's what can easily be handled, but this can't. And don't try to automate that right now because it just can't until it becomes something again that more people are asking about. It's really just about not annoying people, right?
Yeah.
You want to be
100%.
convenient
Yeah.
and
People want to be
helpful.
heard.
Yes.
Right.
They
Yep.
want to be helped when they need to be helped. They need a person when they need a person. But when they don't want a person, they don't want a person.
Right.
It's like the self checkout lane at the grocery
Yeah.
store.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I need to get in and out, in and out. I don't wanna talk to you, Kathy. Like, I don't need to talk about what I'm making for dinner. I wanna get in and out. Or you're like, "No, I have 5,000 things and 14 coupons and 3 packs of beer. I need to go through Kathy's line because I'm not gonna wait at the"
Deal with that. Yeah.
but we still need those options, and I think
Mm-hmm.
making sure that our businesses have those available and we're not all one way or all the other is where there's a like just a really happy medium right
Like
now that
sweet spot.
depends on your business. Yeah.
Sure. Sure, sure. Yeah. Yeah. What's left in your business that is manual right now, right? That's time consuming that is going to be next for you or that you wish could be automated?
I need to work I don't know that I wanna say it because I don't want anybody to know. I need to work more on my fast responses in my community. I think I'm gonna work on some AI on that. There's some things that I can pre-program, like, here we go, or if somebody asks, I can be like, "Hey, here's the answer, boom." And that's it's kinda like building a bot, a response bot with the information that I have, and that's really what I'd like to do, where if somebody asks, they're like, "Hey, share a response within, like, 3 minutes," when it's and then I get a response, and maybe at the end, it's like, "Let me know if you want more detail on this, and I can dig into it a little bit more." That then allows me to then it gives me a task, and then I can go dig in and give them, like, a stronger answer, but I think being responsive in what I do is everything right now, and I wanna make sure that no matter what I'm doing, people are being responded to without me having to walk around like this,
Yeah,
making
yeah.
sure I'm
Yeah, you don't
responding to
want to be
everything in my
glued to your
community.
phone.
No,
And so
because I
what
do
sort
wanna
of
grow it.
communities are you referring to? Do you also have like coaching groups or what do you mean by
I do,
communities?
I'm so sorry. I have so now that I no longer have my accounting firm with Glass Wallet, it's just my Clone and Conquer hub, which is a community. Mostly everybody in there, they're accountants, accounting firm owners, just because that's where the world I live in. But I do have some other just small business owners, and really everything's about scaling, adding people, processes, SOPs, documentation. I'm really big on efficiency, so they'll come in and they'll say, "Hey, Sharon, I'm like one of the ones the other day was about contracts." And they read my book, and in my book, I was saying, "Now, hey, your contracts need to be annual, not month to month, regardless." So they had a question about that, but I'm on vacation, I was busy, I didn't get to it, and by the time I got to it, I'm like, "Shoot." But now what they do is they basically I try to solve the problems for them and say, "Here you go." But a lot of times they come to me and say, "Hey, I have this problem, can you solve it?" And that's where I
Mhm.
go in and I go, "Yes, I can. Let me tell you how I would fix this." And I create a video and a statement of work, a SOP, and I say and then I tell you, "Hey, this is what I charge my client. Here you go." And then they're able to implement it into their business right away.
Right, right. Yeah. So the invitation there, your next step is to take all of that and put it into a knowledge base and a digital
Yes.
twin so that you're able to have that service out there for them. And then when they need the next level of support, which is the person, you, then they're
Yes.
interacting with you. Yeah.
Yes, it's a matter of feeding it all of my content, all the webinars I've been on, all the I have a course I need to feed it. I'm actually working right now on feeding it my course. My answers, just everything I have, I need to feed all that content in, and then it takes everything just from me, things I've said, things I've talked about, and it's like, "Hey, no, we have this answer." But again, it's easily built, it's just a matter of gathering it and continually feeding it, and then testing it. Definitely
Yeah. Yeah.
testing
Yeah.
it.
Always the testing. Yeah. You don't want
Probably
it going
not
off those
won't make it
guardrails.
live in the group.
It'll be like,
No,
"Oh."
no, no, won't make it live in the group. I'll probably do like I'll probably add some people I know into one little
Yeah.
beta room and have them test it out for me, but
Well, the
yeah.
thing is, it is true. Like these things are going to break. So it's like
Mhm,
having a real assistant. Like they're going to make mistakes, right? And like so,
mm,
the AI is not perfect, but it's a matter of like owning up to it. Like that person that had that AI that did that, where you basically were like done. Right? Now it's on that person to definitely train the AI a different way, right?
mhm.
And then from that, then it's just like growing that much bigger and that much smarter. So it's really incumbent
Yes,
on the users. So it's incumbent on us
absolutely.
and then also the developers that are
Yeah.
building it as a tool in general.
People don't realize, like, if you have a problem with software, reach out to the developer, let them know. They're not watching your TikToks, they're not watching your Facebook, they're not reading your mind. So
Right.
whatever I
Yeah, how
use,
else
like
are they going to know if you don't contact
they
them?
don't.
Yeah.
I have a whole Slack channel of like that where I have it all pinned. Here is how to submit a bug or a feature request in each of the things we use. And when they come to me like, "Oh, I wish it did this," I'm like, "Why are you telling me? Go
Right.
tell them. I
Right.
don't have anything to do with it." And just because I know the CEO doesn't mean I'm going to call him up and be like, "Hey, can you go put this in?" Oh, make a report and then report it once a week until finally they have so many reports that it gets on their roadmap. But if that's the way to get things changed with software,
Yeah.
you know?
Yep.
You have to be proactive, really.
Yeah. 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 And then not be like too in the weeds. Like I've got someone who's developing a SaaS that I love, but like they're so engineering driven that it's
Mm,
like, oh my gosh, like you're trying to make all of this perfect. And like at a point, it's
yeah.
like just get it done, get it out there.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
iPhone did or like Tesla did, these sort of things. Like 80% is good enough. Let the
Yeah.
people break it, fix it,
Yes. And tell them
go
what they
from beta to
need.
like in
Yeah.
production and then one, two, three, it's like, so the mistakes are bound to happen, but that's how it
Mhm.
literally learns, right? And
Yep.
that's how you as a person are able to deliver a better service.
Yes. Yeah, and when it comes to software, like, what my needs are, so I have a couple things I'm building right now. I'm working with people, and what I think is important doesn't mean that that's what the masses think are important, right? So you gotta get the
Yeah.
basic functionality out there and then go, "Okay, now what? What's next?"
Right.
And a good example of that in the accounting world of somebody who did that was a software called it was called Keeper, now it's called Double. They
Okay.
started very minimal, and they grew same with Anchor. They grew based on what their customers said they wanted it to do. They knew what they wanted to do, but then they stopped and they listened and they said, "No, of our customer base, they're screaming for this, and we thought it was this." And they really listened, and they've been so successful that just from running from that model, from actually listening to people instead of going, "We know what's best," even though we're not using the software, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I try not to be in that. That's why in our especially my community, I'm like, "I think I know what I would like to solve for you, but
Yeah,
that's not where it
that's funny
stops.
you say
You
that. Like, I've
tell."
totally pivoted my model as well. Like, I had these, certain, we'll just call like AIs to be able to implement. And like, I was often looking for like those people so that I could solve that problem. And then now
Mhm,
I've pivoted to having it be just like a total consultative approach where like instead my service is 2 weeks consultating with with a person group of people such that then they're saying what all of their issues are. And
mhm,
then I'm like, well, here's your options. Right. So I'm not like coming in anymore with like, this is how to solve this for you. It's like they know their business better. Right. But then in the collaboration, it's on paper and it's like, these are the things that are easy to solve. These are the things that are going to be more expensive to solve, whatever. Right. So they see like what's moving the needle. So
mhm,
it's like fit for them, and then
mhm.
after that, they can either like use my services, do it in house, or they can hire someone else,
Yep,
but it's
yep,
given that clear picture instead of like, I've got this shiny object. You can use it. I know you can
yeah,
too. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And like,
yeah,
so if you're like pigeonholed like that, like it may work and they might be like super thankful, but like it's may not be serving them the best. Like it might be great for them or it might totally break, but like something over here would have been much better for them.
yeah. Nope, I absolutely agree. Yeah, and then it's also being I guess the word is humble enough to know that, you don't know everything and people have different problems and and my brain works different, right? So some things I think I'm like in my team, they're like, "Sharon," thankfully my director of brand marketing, she also works with a few other accountants, and so she listens and she goes, "Just so you know, everybody's trying to solve for this." I'm like, "I solved for that 6 years ago." So I know that sounds real cocky, but at the same time, it's just a evident of what I think is important for me, but there are people that are here that need to solve for this. And
Yeah.
that's where so I kind of have to go, okay, what was hard for me back in the day? But really it's about listening. You just got to
Yeah.
listen to people. And again, it's that input, right? AI, everything. You just have to listen to what people are saying and
Yeah.
then they tell you what they need. They tell you what to solve for. So, yeah. Inbox 0 is a huge one. We'll
Okay.
we'll see.
Yeah. Nice.
I haven't found a software that I like for it yet, but maybe I'll make
Right.
something.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm bored. I need to
Yeah.
make one.
Yeah. There's ones out there that are trying, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
What other sort of trends do you see coming down the pipe as we wind up 2025 and go into 26?
I mean, I think assistants are gonna go away. I think we're gonna have less assistants because a lot of the stuff that you have people do is just automated. You know what I would love to have? You know what I would love to see? What I'd love if somebody build is an auto filer to where I could put everything in in my Google Drive, and then it kind of reviews it and it knows where to put it because I hate filing. But I really do think that a lot of we're gonna start seeing that more, less of people that are like EA, more of people that have to like physically do things, but those like virtual assistants, whatever, are really gonna be more automated. I think that's honestly the next job to go to be honest. Bookkeepers, absolutely, like virtual assistants are the next is where that's going to go. And I'm interested. ChatGPT is being OpenAI is was just into it, just paid a ton of money to bring that into their software. I don't know how I feel about that yet. I
I
think we're
didn't
just
hear
going to
that.
start. Yeah, it's huge. People are worried about it, and but I have that's a whole other podcast that we're going to talk about into it. But I just think we're going to see people use it more. But I have you ever seen the movie Surrogates with Bruce Willis? Was that or
Yeah,
was
a
that?
long time ago.
Remember how like they are all avatars and they
Yeah,
never
yeah.
leave? They're
Yep.
all just in their pods. I feel
Yep.
like in 10 years we may be there
There's a
because aren't
degree
we
of truth
already?
to so much of that, like life imitating fiction, imitating life. Absolutely.
That movie, Idiocracy,
Yeah.
and I, Robot. Those are the
Yeah, and
3
I
movies
Robot.
that are
Yeah, for
gonna
sure.
maybe a little bit of Demolition Man. They're all gonna mold together, and that's what our lives are gonna be, but I'm like it feels like it's like that
And
now
Star
because there's
Wars.
so yeah, there we go. I don't wanna be a part of that one. That one's dirt, a lot of dirt. Nowadays, like, you don't a lot of times, this is how people interact. Like, 10 years ago, I would have had to go and sit somewhere, right? We wouldn't have
Yeah,
been
yeah.
doing
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
a podcast wasn't even a thing.
Right.
Now we just my friends are on Facebook, right? So on Friday night, if I don't wanna leave the house, that's okay. I'll just play on Facebook and talk to everybody there because that's where all
Yeah.
my friends live,
Yeah.
and so I don't know. It's interesting. I'm just glad I'm 45 and I'm, like, at that I'm not at the beginning of it, I'm at the end where I'm like, "I can adapt it, but then I can move to the woods and be like, 'You guys got this.'" So,
Yeah. Nice.
I'll
Well, it
ride
sounds
it
like
for a
you've built
while,
the
though.
systems up for it. So why
I
not?
have yeah, and they'll let it run.
Yeah.
I'll let my avatar go run in the world, and I'll be sitting in the
Yeah.
woods doing puzzles.
Awesome.
Yeah, fun.
So what do you have in store for 26?
I have another book that I'm working on,
Okay, what's
and
that?
it's my startup to 7 figures. I did create a course for that, but I'm creating it, putting it into a book now. So I am working on that, and then I'm working with a company on creating a software platform that I can't really talk about yet, but I'm really excited about it. I'm going to help them architect that and get that moving so we can get that launched. Yeah, and then really just growing my community. That's where I am, and my community is everything. My advisory within my community. Of course, I'm part of the AFWA, and so I have the Women Who Count conference that I'm in charge of putting on every year. So I'll be working on that. But really, community, that software, and the conference. So the book is fun. I'll write that on the side.
Awesome.
Yeah, I
Fantastic.
like writing, so that's a good time for me.
Good, good, good. Unfollow the rules. Yeah.
Yes,
When did that come
yes,
out?
that just came out
Just came
October
out.
20th. Yeah, October 20th. I worked on that all year, and it's basically just my story from how I started and to where I am now. So yeah, it's meant to be like a motivational type of you can do it, and I like it. Actually, I don't like it. Don't when you go to read your own books, you're like, "Oh, I should have done this. I should have done this." And everyone's like, "Sharon, no, it's fine. Sit down." I'm like, "Okay," because I
Humble
wanted to
pie.
rewrite it. I know, I wanted to rewrite it 4 times, but I guess that's really normal.
Good enough. Good
So,
enough. Yeah.
yeah, that's what they
Nice.
said, just, "No, you're fine." But I'm an oversharer too, so I wanna give everybody everything at once, and that just isn't gonna happen, and nobody wants that.
Yeah.
That's
Well, hence
exhausting.
the next book coming out.
Exactly.
So
We'll
how
work
can
it on
people
next one.
find that book and your website and,
Yeah.
contact you online?
Everything about me is on my website, glasswalletventures.com. Everything, my LinkedIn, my Facebook, the link to my book, we list all the podcasts I'm on, my community. My community is free for 90 days right now. So honestly, anybody, if you're looking to scale, grow, find efficiencies, anything, join my community. I mean, it's worth it for 90 days. Give it a, even if you leave after that, give it a shot. Maybe I can give you some sort of tool that'll help you save some time. That's the whole idea. So yeah, just really focus on that and the content for that. And I try to do a weekly how-to video and just be very active in there as much as I can. It is really neat right now because I do not have a bot. I just am like I said, really focused on the content in there and creating documents and procedures and whatever anybody needs.
Fantastic. Well, Sharon, this has been great. Really want to thank you for your
Yes,
time.
thank you.
Stick around. Let the upload work on Riverside here. But
Of
yeah,
course.
thanks for coming and sharing. Sharon.
Thanks for
All right, we'll edit the rest out. Awesome. That was
Okay.
great.
Thank you.
Yeah, 100%. So is a digital clone of you coming on down the horizon anytime soon?
I hope so. I really am uploading all the content right now into one place so it can just it's learning me a lot better. So, we'll see. I hope so. I hope I could get that moving because it'll just be so much easier. Like, then anything I'm on, I could just upload, like this for example, this podcast, upload it,
Yeah,
and it can hear what
exactly.
we're saying, what we're talking about, and it
Yeah.
just learns, learns, learns. So,
Yeah, me
I
too. I'm all in. I've started the actual video side of it just
Mhm,
by hiring people because like you can go to HeyGen and all these things, but it's still like the skill level there to actually
mhm.
get it to the point that like again, you're glad that it's
Yeah,
representing you,
yep,
like
yeah,
is still like it's truly a skill. And
yep,
so, yeah,
100%.
I've started that process. And then separately is kind of like the digital side of just the content, right? Where like it'll represent me. And then here's the content of feeding it and putting that all together.
Mhm,
Really exciting space. And also something that once I get that dialed in with myself, then I'm looking to commoditize that. Like
yeah,
not just for like my
yeah.
services, but like to help other people do it as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that there's a few different like, I'm working on there's a few different things out there that say they can do it, say they can I just don't know that yet, everything does have some level
It's
of
the sort of thing where,
limitation.
like, it's still like you have to really learn the skills and be good at it. And so I
Yeah,
feel like I'm kind of like taking these disparate parts right now and matching them and like gonna make it work. And then we'll see. It's probably gonna need a lot of iterations. There's
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like, you see like those great things of the videos online of AI this or that. And it's like, then you
Mhm.
go try to do it yourself. And it's still a big gap to actually like do it well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, that it isn't so obvious because that's embarrassing. Because 'cause I'm really particular about my brand and me and how people represent me, and to the point where I didn't let anybody touch my social media for a long time. I'm like, "Do not misspell. Do not s like, you are representing me, and I would never do that." So I'm
Yeah.
very, very, very picky because it's the internet. When it's out there, it's out there. I mean, it's forever. So I am, yeah, definitely very picky about that, but all you can do, like we said, is just test, 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 feed, feed, feed. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep. Very good.
okay,
100%.
awesome. All right,
All right.
thanks, Mark. Have a
Thanks,
happy
Sharon.
holiday. All right, bye-bye.
Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving. Bye bye.